Hi, leader. Shannon here from Team KLC. In this special episode of the Fierce Factor podcast, we're bringing you part one of the Female Founder Forum, where Kaylee sat down with three powerhouse women in aesthetics: Lauren Grandanetti of Sunday Skin, Morgan Kraut of MK Esthetics, and Gabrielle Hudson of Onyx Medical Aesthetics, for a raw, unfiltered conversation about building loyalty programs that actually work. They're talking about the truth behind memberships, what makes patients stay loyal, and how to design programs that build community, protect your margins, and grow recurring revenue without discounting your value. This conversation is packed with strategy, real-world examples, and honest reflections from women who are leading 6- and 7-figure businesses while staying deeply connected to their purpose. In part one, we dive into why loyalty starts with relationships, not rewards, the balance between exclusivity and accessibility, how to price memberships for profit and retention, and what it really means to build a brand people belong to. If you've ever questioned whether membership programs are right for your practice or how to make them truly work, this episode is for you. Stay tuned for part two next week, where we'll unpack team alignment, selling with confidence, and scaling loyalty programs sustainably. All right, let's dive in.
Hi there, welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee Lindholm. And I think it's time for us women to shift the conversation in business and step into our feminine leadership to do the most iconic work the aesthetic industry has ever seen. Each week, I'll be bringing a powerful dose of strategy, sarcasm, solutions, and sass that will rev up your creativity and ignite your brilliance as you link arms with me along our shared path of personal and professional growth in 20 minutes or less. Let's go. Good afternoon and good evening. Welcome. Come on in and introduce yourself in the chat, please. Let me guess, you are here because you want to learn how to structure loyalty programs to balance retention, pricing, and patient experience. You want to see real examples of how memberships are fueling practice growth, and you want to walk away with frameworks that you can apply immediately in your own business. Yes, if this is you, put a yes in the chat, and I am so happy you're here. Welcome to actually the very first Female Founder Forum, where we are helping 1,000 inspiring and intentional women cross their next $1 million milestone in their business this year. And we're going to answer all of your questions today. And we're going to talk about all of the looming questions, concerns, challenges, and the obviousness of what makes membership programs work and not work. And we're going to do this in a really special way that I haven't done before, because I've invited three powerhouse female founders to join me for a panel discussion where they are going to share their lived experiences building, launching, and growing memberships that are catapulting their aesthetic and wellness practices. So I'm going to invite these ladies to introduce themselves in just a minute. But before I do that, I want to explain and tell you a little bit about our company and why I decided to put this live event together. As I am telling you about us, I want you to introduce yourself and tell us one thing that you are looking to get out of today's session. Why did you sign up? Why did you come here? Where are you on your membership building journey? My name is Kaylee Lindholm, and I am a high-performance leadership coach and business strategist, helping female entrepreneurs build lucrative, life-first businesses in the aesthetic and wellness industry. Our flagship program, the Pop Leadership Academy, has guided hundreds of 7- and 8-figure practice owners to really redefine success on their own terms without sacrificing their vision, their values, or their well-being. How about that? I have been recognized as a Forbes top 10 inspiring women business leaders to watch and a USA Today top 10 business leaders driving innovation in aesthetics. That is not what I am the most proud of. What I am the most proud of is what's here right in front of you. Our programs are built on the core principle that success should pour into 4 key pillars: health, wealth, impact, and freedom. Yet I speak with female founders on a daily basis who tell me, maybe you can relate, I've built something really beautiful, but growth feels extremely heavy. Maybe you've hustled your way to a full client book. Maybe you even clocked $1 million year. Incredible. Top 1%. I mean, whoop, like, snap for that. But it feels like pushing a boulder uphill. We're all exhausted from being the doer, the manager, the marketer, the therapist, and wondering, how do I make this business grow without me doing it all? The answer to that question is strategy. And right now, I'll tell you, I'm hearing left and right. Literally just opened an Instagram post that was doom and gloom all about aesthetics being down, but not over here. I'll tell you why, because our clients are clocking record months, right? Lauren, we just talked about this today. 3 of our Academy members were like record month, because they're building lucrative freedom-based businesses that can withstand these market shifts. So it's all about building a business model that systematizes an unparalleled amount of value to your most loyal customers. And today I'm bringing you 3 absolute superstar students and alumni of KLC who are truly redefining the very definition of success. These women are going to share the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because they promised they'd bring the ugly too, of building loyalty programs that actually work. Because let's be honest, you can't really get to the good, the pretty without the ugly, right? You got to get the ugly first, so you know what the pretty is. Okay. So whether you are frustrated with your current program, you're not sure where to start, or you're just looking for best practices to optimize your operation, you are in the right spot. Welcome. So glad you're here tonight. So little housekeeping. If you have questions, go ahead and pop them into the chat. We are going to be collecting, my team's going to be collecting and assembling all of these questions. We also got a ton in from you all in preparation for this. So thank you. We have done all of our work. Like I have pages and pages of questions that we are consolidating so that we're getting to, what are the most highly concentrated amount of questions on certain topics. And we're going to cover all of that stuff. So we're going to start with a panel interview for about 45 minutes. I'm going to ask these questions to the ladies here. Then I'm going to introduce to you our Fierce Factor Society and some ways that you can tap into some more personalized support through this journey. And then we're going to wrap up with about 30 minutes of Q&A, which you can just be right here and ask if it comes up later. We're going to just be hot seating questions from you guys. And be sure to stay to the end because my team has created a really incredible premium resource for you. We have built the exact step-by-step framework to setting up your loyalty program. So this is actually a companion guide to our November masterclass where we're going to be teaching the hows. And this is your piece of paper with all the stuff where you can put pen to paper and get the ink in place. So without further ado, I'm so excited for you to get access to these brilliant women who I am so awe-inspired by every single day and week, and they have done it. They are slaying the same dragons. They have such great wisdom. And when we prepped for this, I just got even more and more excited to bring this to you all. So welcome to Female Founder Forum, and please give a virtual applause to our panelists. We have Gabrielle Hudson, DNP and CEO founder of Onyx Medical Aesthetics out of Lacey, Washington. Whoop, whoop. We have Morgan Kraut Hyllerides. She is an RN, CEO of an extraordinaire of MK Esthetics in Minneapolis. Whoop, whoop, really outside of Minneapolis, technically, but she's got the whole Twin Cities. She owns it. And Lauren Grandanetti, NP of Sunday Skin, CEO of Sunday Skin in Brentwood, Tennessee. Whoop, whoop. So we've got covered the span of east to west to east coast for you all. So I'm excited that we get to hear just some kind of collective and individual feedback and information from all of them. So I'm going to pull up, we got 37 chats in there. Welcome to everybody who's joining us. Everyone's so excited. I just see words like excited, and clap, 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 clap. So, all right. So let's kick off. Let's start with you, Miss Lauren. I'm going to ask each of you to introduce yourself, your business, and what kind of membership model you run in your practice. So let's start with you, Lauren.
Yeah, so I'm Lauren Grandanetti. I own Sunday Skin. We're right outside of Nashville, Tennessee. We're actually turning 5 on Saturday, so big milestone there. We're a team of 6 women, and we actually had memberships almost at our inception. They were kind of core to the Sunday Skin mission, but we offer several different tiers, and we have a bankable membership. So patients can bank their money every month. And then we offer a lot of different like perks that come along with the membership model.
Awesome. Welcome, Lauren. Morgan.
Hello, everybody. Great job tuning in. I know we're all really busy right now, but I'm Morgan. I'm in the Minneapolis area. We're a team of 13. That includes our front desk and some marketing, but I think that's 6 providers. We're in our 4th year of business open. I was injecting 8 years prior to that as well. And we have, ours is called the MK Elite program. And it is also that $199 a month. You are banking your money to unlock, your kind of savings in a way. And it also comes along with different things like quarterly events. And it's been 14 months now. And so, but it's been great so far. But like I said, monthly perks often is what we're doing as well if you are an MK Elite member. So it's been working really good. And I will say it was about 3 years in the making as well. So
Awesome. Excited to pick your brain, Morgan. Gabrielle.
Hi, thank you for having me, Kaylee. I'm Gabrielle Hudson. I'm a nurse practitioner and the co-founder of Onyx Medical Aesthetics. We are out of Olympia, Washington, which is about an hour south of Seattle. We serve over, maybe like 3 to 4 counties. In terms of our patient base, we've got a little bit over 1,000 patients. And our membership model is similar to the other ladies. We do a beauty bank for our aesthetic side, but then we also have wellness memberships too. So we incorporate them across the span of all of our services.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So I sort of broke out the questions that we were getting into certain buckets: how to design your membership, how to price your membership, how to launch your membership, how to sell and promote it, other ways to add value, and any pitfalls. So we're going to go over those 6 categories. Bring the questions if you guys have them. Our team's going to be collecting and pulling all of those together, but I think hopefully we can cover the span. So let's start. I want to start kind of high level, one big high level question, which is, do memberships create loyalty? I'd love for all of you to answer that question.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think we can all agree that the medical spa industry, I don't like to say saturated, but it's more competitive now than it ever has been. And so I think memberships are crucial piece of creating loyalty for your practice.
Yeah, I agree. I think for us, we started our membership very, very early on. It was 9 months into opening. And so that was our way of building a community. And so if you want to associate like loyalty with a community, that's kind of where we got our start, because everyone wanted to kind of follow along the journey with us growing as a business, but also like pouring back into them. So a membership was kind of a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with both of those ladies as well. I absolutely think it is. I mean, we had like a lot of people I saw in the questions, we already have loyalty and people are coming and spending, but I thought we took it to the next level, and we really wanted those full face consults. We really wanted to have that team approach where they're seeing our esthetician, our injectors, and give them kind of like give them an opportunity to join this kind of elite membership in a way. And it has been, I absolutely think it creates loyalty.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome.
I'm kind of oh, sorry, go ahead.
No,
yeah,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm kind of obsessed with the patient experience, because I think at the end of the day, that is what is going to keep the patient around, or the loyalty. And I just think it so much enhances the patient experience, like in every way. And I know we'll kind of dive into that, but I think that that's kind of the key factor for sure.
And I think to that point, Lauren, like it has to be an elevated experience for them to be loyal. So if you just opened a membership, maybe not everybody would come or return if your actual interaction with patients aren't already excellent too. So, it will help foster loyalty, but if you're not already investing in the experience, then the patients may not grab onto it for that loyalty that it has potential for.
And to even go further, the loyalty, but to go further to the results that they're getting. We just found that we know what can give you results, and it's these different services. So how about we give them a bundled opportunity to join this program? And then they're going to ultimately, again, customer experience, same with me, but I'm also about, delivering those results too. And we know how to get you there. And now we have an opportunity for you to join our loyalty program too. So
awesome. Thanks, ladies. So Lauren, you mentioned that the obsessed was your word. This is very lightly.
My team is probably like, oh, here she goes again.
Back on the obsession train. Yeah. So obsessed with the experience. So how do you balance exclusivity with accessibility when you're designing your membership, and what has worked best in your practice?
Yeah. So for exclusivity, we've really transitioned everything to be our members. So like everything that is a perk, every sort of elevation of the experience, it's not that we treat non-members badly. It's just that if you're a member, you are our family. We care so much about you. And so we give them everything. Like we give them all the savings. We give them all of the events. We give them all of the fun new perks and all these kinds of little things here or there. And that's everything our members get. And so you should become a member because you are going to get like the best experience, the best results. And so it is like this club, but there's kind of the accessibility piece is like, you can sign up today. We're going to tell you all the benefits of that. And you're going to walk away feeling like there's no reason for you not to be able to join.
Yeah, there's your accessibility. Sign up right now. It's so accessible for you. Yeah,
we make it so easy. Yeah, you can.
It's a good point because when we were having a chat recently, and we were saying it's interesting because I think that it seems like businesses are very much programmed to dangle discounts as a strategy for new patient acquisition. And then you have your existing patients who are like, wait, I've been coming in, and we've all been there, right? Where you're like, well, what happened to me? I'm the one who's just pumping out cash every single month, and yet they're getting the deal. And so it's sort of flipping that idea that no, we're going to take care of the people who are taking care of us. Yeah.
I also want to say that sometimes when we think of exclusivity, like, that means that there has to be an exclusion. And with the memberships, it's like everybody has the opportunity to be included, right? So like what Lauren was saying is like everybody gets the excellent elevated care, the best outcomes just in general. But when you are part of these loyalty programs or part of a membership, there's a little bit more intention behind it on both parts. Like from us as the provider and you as the person coming in, you have more intention to be committed to your treatment plan. Generally, you have more intention to, go the long haul for those transformations versus I'm not just coming for the best deal. So I think it naturally creates its own exclusivity, and people who aren't in alignment with that intention to be fully transformed or fully part of the practice, they kind of exclude themselves. And, it doesn't mean they're excluded from excellent care, but they're just choosing not to elevate to where we want every patient to be.
Well, but plays back into the clinical conversation too, right? Which is we want to make sure that patients get the best clinical outcomes. And with that is that is the program that you're putting together. I think the business model aligns when you are quote unquote, I use the word productizing, but essentially you're building a business model that is prioritizing patient care and best clinical outcomes and results. And if you look at it like that, then the discounts are sort of out the window. It really is just about, you have us having an agreement together to help drive the best of all the things for you, including the experience. Awesome. To follow up on that, Gabrielle, how do you decide what benefits to include in a membership so that it's compelling but still profitable?
So when I think of that question, I think that it's like a two-part question, right? Like you want your membership to be profitable, like number one, first and foremost. And then making it compelling, I think for us was kind of like along the lines of the treatment. Like we want you to have the best outcomes, and this is how you're going to get there. And so the first part of the question is like, when you're designing the membership, you really want to be thinking about like, how can I like bring value to my clients? How can I design the program that way that everybody is getting an elevated experience and creating a community, or they're in alignment with the goals or the mission of trying to achieve this, result. And so I introduce memberships out the get-go. Like everyone has a conversation during the consult about, here is your treatment plan. Here's how we're going to get you there. And then it's kind of like, well, this is what you need to do to make sure that you are committed and invested in your treatment, because it's a big investment to give someone a year-long treatment plan and then be like, okay, well, come up with, this $12,000 and we'll get started. So I put it out there right at the beginning, like, this is a good way for you to invest in yourself, invest in the treatment plan that you want. And if you're ready to go, like, this makes it a no-brainer because of the benefits, right? The benefits are just a perk to being committed to the treatment plan. And then when I pick what goes into my membership, I think first and foremost, you have to know your numbers, right? Like you can't just throw out discounts that are going to undercut you as a business and undercut your sustainability, because in the long run, that's not going to serve you nor the patients. So knowing the numbers, and then obviously you have to incorporate the hero treatments, right? Like everybody's going to be coming in for Botox and fillers, but not forgetting like some of maybe even your not so profitable services. Like if you do just have like basic facials, like you have to look at every time that patient comes in, it's another encounter for you to cross-sell, cross-promote another department, educate them on your new service. So even adding in things as simple as like, a vitamin shot or something like that. And then never neglecting the value of things that are actually not transactional based, right? So people love feeling special and love feeling like they're that exclusive person. So we do things like early access to new treatments for our members. So if you want to be the first one to try this device, you have early access. And we use terms like priority booking, even though we rebook everybody, but it's like, Samantha, I know you love this Saturday at 11 o'clock. As a member, you have the option of these days, right? And so it's a little bit of psychology of like, you're a member, so we're giving you this time, even though it's the time that you always come in, right? And then kind of value-based things that don't have to be like come in and buy something or buy a sale. So we do things like we have a wellness and a weight loss program, like a healthy eating guide through the holidays. Like just how can you get through the holidays with, food all around you and you're on a GLP-1. So things like that will actually make them feel more valuable and that you're contributing without always having to bring them in to spend more money.
Love that. You got to bet. There's a bunch of comments in there. I need the pitch and the spiel. So is that helpful? She's got the pitch down. I got to say for sure. Let's move, Morgan. I'd love to tap into some of your expertise around. I know that you really took a lot of time building and doing preparation and planning for the sustainability and profitability of how your membership would work in your practice. And you at launch, you have enrolled 500 in the first year so far, right? Isn't that number? Okay. That's a lot of people and obviously a big lift on the company. And you have a big team. How do you track and manage your membership program inside of MK?
Yeah, it's honestly pretty straightforward through our EMR, our records. And so we do have aesthetic record, and it's a kind of, there's so much that goes into it, but it's, automated through that system. And when somebody does want to cancel, we do have in our policy that they have to email. We have parameters around cancellation. But really we made it very simple at checkout. You can sign up within 10 seconds. And, the front desk does a really good job of explaining everything. So truthfully, ours is not that hard to manage. We do only have one tier. So we decided to go simple. We wanted to keep it really simple and clear. And we had those relationships already built with a lot of these customers. So that's why people said yes quickly. But I think for us, I'm learning as the business grows to keeping things as simple, or just, because things just, that's just how we decided to do it. So we do we do have discounts. So I don't like that word either, but we worked very detailed with our CFOs, and we're down to the percentage of what we discounted. And we knew if we took $1 off tox, how much, because we had data from years in our past, we knew that if we took $1 off, what that would be, what hit that would be, but also knowing that we can make it up in other ways. And so I think for us, it was everyone's doing it. We need to do it, but we really had to hone in on who we are. We are in Minneapolis area, so that's very different than other people in the country. And I just wanted to simplify, keep this as simple as I could. I will say we have I think we have 512 members right now, but we also have really good LTV and top 20 percenters who aren't in our membership. So ours it's unique in that even if they, don't want to, just because they don't want that $199 a month or whatever it is, I think we have some exclusivity, but we're also just very like, when you're ready, this is a great option. And I don't know, we've just been successful with it in that way. So yeah, I think our system does a really good job is what I'm trying to say. So it's pretty easy to manage.
Yeah, that's awesome. What can you share, Morgan, one strategy that has helped you increase patient retention without relying on discounts?
Well, I think, like I said, we've really dove into our full face consultations. We've had a whole initiative for the past 8 months. We've brought in an executive director. She has done the MK way. We've worked so detailed with our providers and how to build a full face treatment plan, how to, cross collaborate with our estheticians. We've really become a more cohesive team. And I think with just our practice manager and our executive director and myself, it's, how can we continue to go above and beyond for these people? What do people wanting? We just spent a lot of money on surveys that are going out. How can we better serve you? And so I think if we just continue to dive into what the customer's wanting and listening to them, I think our front desk is such a key component to so much. I say from the way they greet them with the golden retriever effect, I say, to the moment they check out, just how we are training your different kind of departments to, again, I said customer service is important, but in the room is important after, and then with our CRM, different follow-ups too. So I think we've implemented some new systems this year that have been really helpful.
Awesome. Well, and it goes back to the obsession Lauren has with experience, right? Which is like, if you're somebody who if you go somewhere and you're like, that was an amazing experience, I want to have that, right? Take it back to your business.
Mm-hmm. Morgan, we do that too. I love patient surveys. I do them twice a year, and I have since the beginning, because I feel like the patient tells you everything you need to know. Yeah. You know what I mean? So they'll tell you when something's good. They'll tell you and we lean heavily on our members too. We're like, how can we make this better for you? What do you love? What would you love to see? And so they kind of can guide you on, but you could obviously do outside research, but they'll tell you too, Yeah, and we do it very simple. I see it like, how do you send out the surveys? I send out a Google form, literally, like through email, and we'll be like, hey, if you fill this out, you get entered into like a $100 gift card raffle or something. And we get tons of responses. It's great.
Yeah, we're going to do a gift card, pretty big gift card if you fill this one out. But kind of like as Gabrielle said, to help you guys understand too, I don't think that we are going into 2026 and we might make some adjustments. So I always say, it's hard to take things away. So when you are starting, or if you are doing a membership, it's always okay to adjust. And I think we might add birthday perks coming up. So you're always kind of listening. What are they wanting? How can we continue to elevate? We're premier, we look back at our mission, vision, values, and stuff like that. So I think it's also, don't get too like, oh my gosh, I did something wrong. Like, it's just, we're always, growing and evolving. And so is the business, right? So.
For any of our panelists, I'd love to kind of move into the pricing conversation. How do you decide how to go about pricing your program?
I think everybody easiest way. Sorry. Go ahead. The easiest way is if you take kind of maybe like Botox, for example, and you expect them to come in 4 times a year, And you also kind of estimate like what's the average spend when they do come in, and kind of divide that up, what it's going to look like at minimum for them to spend that every month. And so that was a good way that we started with, like our 150, you know, it was like everybody's getting at least 64 units and this is what they're spending. Divide that about the 12 months. That's a good, comfortable place to say this should be what your monthly spend is. And then, you know, if anything else on top, we used to have multiple tiers, but then, you know, to Morgan's point, it can become confusing when people want to move up and move down. And so we found that like 150 to 199 was like a really happy place.
Gabrielle, you also shared with me, I think it'd be helpful for everybody because we instantly think, and we teach the same way, by the way. So you'll see this breakdown in your premium resource for all of you that are attending today. But what keeps your patients sticky in your practice? You don't have to go all the way to the highest end service. It could just be simply Botox. It could be a facial. It could be a vitamin shot, right? But like, it's your practice. I've worked with a provider who was like, people came in for cupping, you know, and I'm like, I don't believe you. Show me the numbers. I was like, wow, we're actually converting these people. Fine. So it was a cupping membership. So y'all can be whatever. All right. But to start there, and then can you talk though about pricing up versus discounting? Because I think that's an important part of it as you're building the membership.
Yeah, I mean, for us, that was pretty crucial, like pivot that we made, because we transformed from kind of the normal, you know, Botox unit model to charging per area model. And we had already had a membership going. In fact, we had a 3-tier membership going. And so when we made the commitment that we were going to change our model for pricing overall for tox and filler, it was like critical that we made sure the membership aligned with it. And so that was where we really took a deep dive into like our numbers. And so what was our actual margin on that, you know, that treatment, and making sure that when you price it, you're staying comfortable. So the way I explain it is like our members pay normal price. Our non-members, they're paying a premium price. And, you know, we give that like boutique, very elevated experience. And so when patients are coming through the door and if they're like, you know, I can't afford that much, then we start to talk about like, well, here's the membership again. And this is how you can plan to, you know, supplement your treatment or plan out your treatment. And then, you know, because we're doing more of the treatment areas and not units, we don't really have that much negotiation going on. And so people aren't like, well, I can only afford 20 units in my full face. And so it really just is an alignment. Like everybody's on the same page that we are going for optimal outcomes. So long story short, knowing your numbers and then like calculating your margins and being comfortable with saying that, you know, members are paying normal price and non-members are paying the premium. And I think that's where people get uncomfortable is like,
so
you know, weeding
write that
out
down,
those
everybody.
non-members.
Yeah, please. That is like, if you're going to take away something from the pitch, let's repeat yourself, Gabrielle, because I think this is really important.
Being comfortable with like providing that service and knowing the value that non-members are going to pay a premium. And then your non-members, they're paying a normal price. So you're not undercutting yourself.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah.
Lauren, what about, go ahead, Morgan.
No, I was just going to say, to add to that, how we protected ourselves. So how we did it, we didn't say Botox is this much or derma filler is this much. We said it's like, it's $1 off because we're going to do a price increase, but we don't have to change. It's not like we can just adjust it and there's no adjustments that I need to make. So we did skin treatments. They're all tiered. So we built ours so that we can adjust our pricing and the membership stays the same, if that makes sense to you guys. Because I didn't want to say it's non-members are 14 and members are 13. We just said with the membership, you're $1. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I think with the pricing, we can easily increase and it's not a big structure change or anything like that. Or
Yeah, I'll share the pitfall that, we had to that point, Morgan, is like when we started our membership, it was like, you are going to have $11 talks. Well, post-pandemic, when everybody decided, like from Allergan to everyone, to increase the talks price, it was like, oh gosh, this is not sustainable, giving even the members $11 talks. And so, when we made that change, it was like, okay, change into percentage or dollar off. But those are things that you don't know until you're like going through a pandemic and all the prices on everything just start to shoot up, rapidly. It's like from your skincare to your toxins, everybody was increasing. So I think that's the key, is making sure you're not like pigeonholing yourself into giving people $10 Botox.
Awesome.
I think the other side of that too is like, we did start our membership 5 years ago, and it's okay to evolve. We've definitely had multiple iterations of it, and we have had to raise prices on our members. Now, I will say, it's kind of funny. We have like a little tag on what we call our OG members. So if they started with us 5 years ago, I think they're getting their talks for like $10.50 a unit. They've been with me for 5 years. We're like, you have OG membership pricing, and they refuse to let it go. They are like, I will do everything to keep that membership, because we've told them like, hey, we've had to do some changes. And so I would also be like, I think that Morgan and Gabrielle gave like the best advice, but also don't feel like, oh gosh, I have to get it 100% correct because I'm never going to be able to change it in the future. Kind of going back to like, I love feedback from my patients. And so we've enhanced, I always say like, we're adding, we're enhancing, we're evolving the membership, and, and people are understanding, like, it's been 5 years, the pandemic, just the economy in general, they know everything from their groceries to their gas to everything has gone up. And, I write them a nice letter saying like, we haven't increased our prices in 3 years. And unfortunately, we're a small business. We love your support. And I would say 99% of them have been totally understanding of that. But I do have some OGs who, like I said, they're like, I refuse to give this up because I am so loyal to you.
Oh, girl, I have a 24-hour fitness membership that's $4.50, and I have not been to the gym in probably 14 years but I'm like, I'm like, I can't get rid of it. I'm going to have one very expensive gym session here coming up soon for sure. It'll be like, that was $1,000, that one gym visit.
And talking about keeping that like kind of sticky, is our biggest driver to the membership is the toxin. Like, we're like, if you only do talks with us, the membership still makes sense. But we know from data that we've gathered is like it literally, they don't spend any more that day, but the psychology of them signing up for the membership, we know that they are going to spend 2.5 times more per year with us. And like Gabrielle said, they're going to come in at least 2 additional times, giving us the opportunity. And then that goes on your team and your providers. Like, that is your responsibility to be treatment planning, to cross-selling, to add-ons, and giving them the entire experience and prioritizing their overall outcomes. So that's a piece of it too.
Awesome. I'd love, Gabrielle, for you to share what are some of the metrics that you're tracking, what are most important for you to track to know that, okay, this is working and this is successful, and also to give you the feedback that it's time to adjust?
Oh, that's a good question. So we always look at like our number of members. So making sure that we're having not like a big, huge decline of people canceling. And if there's something like more than like 2 or 3 people canceling, it's like, what's going on, reaching out and kind of figuring out. We also do serve a very large military population. And I know we'll get into this later about like cancellations, but for us, it's, like Lauren said, is being human and understanding life situations, like they move and things like that. So we look at overall members, and then tracking the revenue that it brings in is a big deal, because in my opinion, and data kind of shows that your membership should be bringing in about 25% of your revenue. And I mean, that's a very nice chunk of change that you're not having to go out there and seek or find or bring new patients in. And then we also look at like the number of visits and their lifetime value. And then if they have like any like opportunity where maybe they've not taken advantage of seeing our estheticians, because everything in our membership kind of crosses over departments. And so when they are coming in, if they've not seen the esthetician, we're like, hey, it's time for you to have your annual complimentary skin health analysis. So being proactive with looking in the chart, I asked my front desk to look and see like they've not had a skin health. This is the opportunity to get them in with esthetician services too. Yeah, so those are mostly what we track. And then my CFO, he tracks kind of more of the longevity and more of things like that, where he sends me all the data of, the growth of the membership and making sure that, it's still growing in since its conception and things.
Awesome. And that goes for there are a lot of questions I'm seeing in the chat. I'm scanning. And I know we're going to do like more open Q&A, guys. We're going to get to everything later, but they know Gabrielle's a wellness queen. So like that's also for wellness as well. This cross-pollination.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So that was something pretty recent that we incorporated. I like how you said, Lauren, how we enhance it. And so bringing on complementary wellness for our aesthetic memberships, right? And then people who just come to us for wellness and they've never seen me for any kind of aesthetic treatment, they actually get to use the aesthetic discounts. It doesn't allow them to do the banking type of model, but they also get to just partake in all of the benefits, because typically our wellness memberships are much higher in a monthly charge. And so if we get them to the aesthetic side, that's just a win for us.
Awesome. And you hear the language too. And I know in our retail sales playbook, for those of you that downloaded it, there's a section in there about changing the vernacular of the way that you communicate. So a lot of questions are coming up about like pushback from patients, and that goes back to the presentation of the value. And if you hear the language that these ladies are using about exclusivity, right, about investments, not the cost or price, about results, about what are some of the other ones? Just the things that we're saying in our, quote unquote pitch aren't about like a transaction. It's about the value that we're providing to the patient as this sort of luxury experience for them, right? So, okay. So many questions, you guys. I'm getting distracted looking around everywhere. I want to move into the launching piece. We'll just take a couple more minutes of my questions and then we'll move into the next section. But best practices for launching memberships. Who wants to take this one?
I think Morgan had the big party launch. Ours was from day one, so there was no big to-do about it.
Yeah, ours was called Learn and Celebrate. It landed last year on our big fall open house, and we do have an enrollment fee, so we were able to waive that. We did some pretty good marketing to get people excited. So we did do a celebration, and we've always kind of been known for that. And so we I think just there was a lot of I'm big in education, so it's called Learn and Celebrate, so people can come in, understand it, learn about it. I think we signed up like 300 to 400 people. And so that was our way of launching, and it worked. It worked good.
That's awesome.
Get it, Morgan. Yeah, we also pretty much had it from day one, I will say, and I think we'll kind of get to this maybe a little bit later, but I think a key piece to the launch, whether you do a party or you market it heavily, is the team and prepping the team on the back end before you kind of open it up to the patients. And we can kind of go into that a little bit later, but that would probably be my like big takeaway from that. I can't, 5 years ago, I'm like, I think we just started it. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, just the days are fast, the years are long, or whatever, the opposite of that. Okay, so let's move into selling and promotion. How do you train your team to promote memberships in a way that feels authentic and aligned with your brand and not pushy?
I can take this, or I can start with this one. Okay. I'm very passionate about the membership because, like I said, my members, I'm crazy about the experience. The members are our family. Like, these are, they're so crucial to who we are and our success. So I think being really excited about it and then getting the team to understand how beneficial it is, not only for the company, but for them. So I sat down, we just brought on a new provider in May. And so at May's team meeting, I was like, hey guys, like, let's review memberships, why they're so great. And I gave actual data of like, you know that our members visit us 2.5 times more. They spend this much more per visit. And that's really important because from the provider perspective, I'm like, this is guaranteeing you more appointments, more visibility, more time with those patients, and more ability to, let you be able to show them the kind of results that they're going to get. And it was like a light switch after that meeting. Everybody was like, we got to sign up. Have you heard about the membership? We got it. So I think having them understand the value, I know Gabrielle, in our prep, you talked about like using it as an incentive for your team to get new equipment. So I think team is the key piece to this. And if they don't understand the value of it and why it is crucial to your success or why it's so helpful for the patient, then it won't take off, or it won't be as successful as you'd like it to be. And we talk about membership every day. Every day we talk about membership. At our morning huddle, we identify everyone on the schedule who is not a member and how we are going to let them know about the benefit of the membership.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can hear my operations team in the back going like they're having a party on that one. Uh-huh. That's incredible. I couldn't agree more. If I will say from my experience, the memberships that I've seen, most memberships fail because there's just a lack of an ability to understand and communicate the value of them to the patient. And that starts with team. So if you can't communicate and fully be all in on your own and then share that with the next person, and I mean from front to back within your practice, and for them to be able to communicate confidently about the value to the patient, that is the first place to start. It almost doesn't matter what the rest of the membership looks like. There has to be the ability to communicate. And so that goes, Gabrielle, you were talking before about simplifying those numbers for them, because I said, how do you have the girls at checkout that are like signing them up? Do they have a calculator? Like we got ChatGPT rolling to like do those calculations. And you said, no, it's simple. It's 10%. We're just using simple math, and then we role play it and we practice. So we don't make it too complicated. So
yeah, you have to keep it simple, because that way when they're checking out, it's like, hey, you could save $60 or you could save, X amount, keeping it simple. And I think giving them the actual dollar amount is helpful instead of saying like, oh, our members get, 10% off or, $1 off a unit. Like if you just calculate that for them really quickly, then they'll understand. And then you can even like take it a step further and be like, if you did this treatment, you're, 3 to 4 times a year, you're already saving X amount of dollars in the year, right? And so to Lauren's point about incentivizing your team, like our team wanted a new device. And so I was like, well, to cover that additional, device payment or whatever, we need to sell X amount of, memberships, because that gives me a lot more landing room if, expenses change or something like that. And they want that machine, right? And it gives them a goal to work towards, that they know, hey, if I sign up 10 members, then, I'm helping the practice, and all of that is just cash flow back into trainings, backflow into conferences that, we can invest back into them. So I think it is important to give them a target.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I think if you get them to commit to $150 a month, you're going to get so much revenue over the year time. You could also incentivize your staff to be like, every member you sign up, you get, a little bit of something that can help with like the front desk conversion too.
Awesome. Okay, ladies, we're going to pause here. I'd love in the chat. Are you guys enjoying this so far? So much knowledge. Any Fierce Factor Society members in here that have already tapped into Gabrielle as an example on these things? I'd love any society members say hello in the chat. I want to, as my team, please team your cue to start collecting and sending me all of the questions that have come in the chat. We're going to actually take your questions for a live Q&A. You girls, panelists, can take a sip of water, and I'm going to share an opportunity to take this conversation to the next level. If you're here today and you're a high growth female founder, you are an entrepreneurial leader, you want to grow either your business or within your business, I would love to invite you to join us for more conversations like this. How many of you would love to continue having more conversations like this? I love talking to real people about real life stuff, right? Not just the templated, I have a deck, a pitch deck, this is what someone is telling me to say. And these women have graciously come to share with you their knowledge because they want to help support everybody to build this industry and to create meaningful impact for everybody. And that is kind of, I think, what has been missing in this industry for a long time. I've been around for a while and had my own frustrations around, we're trying tactic after tactic, like what actually works and what are some of the pitfalls that people have had, so I can learn from them and kind of step over that stumbling block ahead of time without having to go through it on my own. And that's where this Fierce Factor Society was created. This is the leadership launching pad for women who are meant for more. And if you know, if that's you, you're like, I know there's more for me. This is really a program that I created in response to challenges that I personally faced growing my own 7-figure business. I was tired of going to course after course, trying tactic after tactic, only to find myself facing more resistance, feeling exhausted and spinning my wheels. And what I really needed wasn't more hustle. I just needed a better framework. And so that's what we are here to, all of us, to grow together in a way that feels good and not in a way that drains us and makes us feel like, why am I even building this thing every single day? And so that's what we're doing inside the Fierce Factor Society. And here's how it works. We've really gone all in on loading this program up with all of the personalized resources that you need to stay accountable and on track toward your goals, including online learning tools and resources on demand at your fingertips through a simple app on your phone, through your, however you want to log in, personalized touch bases with human beings, live coaching, it's all there. Each month we teach a new piece of curriculum live on Zoom. And that was sort of the inception of this idea. Next week, we're going to be teaching, or next month, in November, how to build loyalty programs. And our thought was, well, yes, we can teach the step-by-step framework, but also how valuable to learn the context of how these frameworks are being applied in practices with the clients that we are actually working with. And so we're going to guide you into one area of focus every month on how to step into this next milestone, this next sort of goal in your business, so that you don't have to aimlessly wander around. You can show up, learn, and take the tools to implement. So next month, when you sign up today, you're going to have access to taking all of what you're learning today into the step-by-step programming of how to build a framework, how to build a loyalty program that actually works. We're going to put pen to paper, help you select your program model, really look at the tiers and benefits, and run some simple math to set pricing and establish goals, so that you at least have a launching point where I feel really comfortable and confident about what I built. And then it's up to you to go and get your team enrolled in that. And I can't wait to hear more best practices from our panelists too, about how their team is really selling the value. Inside of our Fierce Factor Society, you're going to receive weekly momentum guides. This kind of came about because someone said to me one time, Kaylee, I listen to your podcast religiously every Monday morning. I wish I could just have you in my back pocket all day. And I was like, I had this aha moment. Why not take each podcast and create practical tools and audits that our listeners can use to expand on the Fierce Factor podcast? So implementing these key takeaways that really matter for your practice and get actionable resources that you can implement immediately and certainly take back to your team as well. And so I'm delivering these to your inbox every week. We have, is that Gabrielle in this picture too? You guys are so famous. Weekly implementation sessions. So we're going to have live, you have live coaching sessions. This is not just a course, you guys. It's not like a random program where, you're going to have to go pay onesie twosie for every little thing. We are live with you. This is our elite strategic advisory team. No talking to an AI bot, no sorting through piles of information to decipher what's relevant for you, no fear mongering or shaming, no chat room drama, come on. Just a room of high agency women building and scaling impact-driven businesses, discussing solutions that actually work. A coach hotline. So when you're not with us, once a week and our masterclass during the month, we have a coach hotline so you can get the on-demand support that you need. Submit your business question directly to our team, and one of our experts will respond with strategic insights for you. You have access to vaulted content, our proprietary frameworks, actionable templates from KLC to help you implement effective strategies, reach your next milestone, and prepare your business for the next stage of growth. And join our book club. You're going to receive curated insights, including books, podcasts, articles. Don't you love when someone's like, read this book? That's what I do. I read it, and then if it's not worth it, it's gone. And when it is worth it, I pick and choose what to help you guys, to save you the time so you know what is worth investing your time into. Another celebrity, Morgan here. Inside the Fierce Factor Society, you also have access to our society social hours. So these are our casual in-person opportunities to connect with each other for dinner, drinks. I went on tour. I was like, I want to take this thing on tour and see people in the IRL. I love being here. I can't see any of you. So this is like the fun way for us to get together and see each other in person. Access to premium resources. These are templates, audits, guides, SOPs, compensation planning tools, KPI worksheets, private training, so much more. And the good news is y'all can take a deep breath because you can actually join the Fierce Factor Society for less than $3.50 a day. So think about that. For what's $3.50, the cost of your Starbucks coffee? I don't know. Like, really can make that value pitch here. You can build the systems and mindset to scale sustainably, multiply demand for your expertise while protecting your margins. Right? We won't want cash in the bank. Position yourself as the preeminent leader in your market and learn the frameworks to cross your next $1 million milestone. So I have a special offer for you today. You can sign up for a year in our Fierce Factor Society and get a free month plus a one-on-one personalized growth strategy audit with a KLC advisor. We can take the time to dive into things like, are you underpricing and leaving revenue on the table? Who are your most valuable customers? How do you get more of them? Are you struggling with team issues or cash flow problems? Should you create a subscription model, right? All of these kinds of questions that you have, and you have the right team, and how do we build the right sales delivery system for you, for your membership. So this is going to be limited to 20 spots, this growth strategy audit call. So it's first come, first serve, tonight. Scan the code, jump in, join these ladies. I'm excited to see you in there. And PS, I'm going to get back to the panelists, but if you want to stick around after, at the end of our session today, our team will be happy to open up the vault and walk you through there and show you around. So hang tight for that. We will make sure that you all, let me see here. There we go. Woo, they're back. That you all get all of your questions answered, both about memberships and about the Fierce Factor Society. But make sure even if you come in for 1 month, then you can join us for next month's, taking all of this stuff and putting your loyalty program together. So, okay, I have got, let's see, some questions for you. And I'm going to ask one of my team really quick where to find. Okay, so first question, I'd love to hear how to increase the value of our memberships in order to increase the number of memberships. What would make every patient want to join or be a part of our memberships? Who wants to take that one?
We could probably all jump in, but I think the biggest thing is understanding your patient, who's coming in the door, what's the top service that you offer, why are they coming to see you, and putting something in there that, is, like I said, a no-brainer. Like our, biggest driver of new patients is Botox. I think 30% of our revenue comes from neurotoxin. And so we have that in the membership where it's like an immediate selling point of like, if you only do Botox, this is a no-brainer. And then we add in a bunch of other value. So that way it's, it feels really, really valuable. And then it allows them the ability to, and your providers the ability to build a treatment plan out for them so that they can get that, more holistic, comprehensive result.
Listen, leader, if you're vibing with me here, hang tight because I have a brand new resource for you. You are a successful, confident, powerful woman who just isn't into being average. No, you have a calling, and part of that calling is requiring you to level up. And I know that if you're working across the next $1 million milestone in your business, you need to be in the right circles. And perhaps that's why you found us. I'd love to invite you to join The Blueprint, a weekly resource for inspired, provocative thinkers who are taking this conversation to the next level. Get access to free business tools, podcast supplements, guideposts, and direct communication with me and my expert team. And of course, a masterfully curated circle of women making big moves and disrupting the status quo in aesthetics and wellness. You can link directly through the show notes or head to klcconsultants.com/blueprint. It's time to elevate. See you there, goddess.